All right, standing here with Monte Lee. 1 week from opening day, Coach. Obviously, you've been working with these guys several weeks. How do you feel a week out from opening day?
Well, I feel really good, and it all starts with pitching, as we know, and that was probably the biggest question marks for everybody, for our fan base, for us as coaches, just who was going to be those starting pitchers. We lost 4 starters, 3 weekend starters and a midweek starter from last year, and we felt like we had guys that had the ability and had the stuff as a coaching staff. The only questions we need answered were who's going to be the 1, 2, and 3 and the midweek guy. And I can tell you this, the decisions after this weekend are going to be tough for me because our guys have thrown so well. There's going to be some guys who have pitched exceptionally well in the inner squads that may have to go to the bullpen just because, right now I feel like we've got 5 or 6 guys that are starters that I would be very happy about running out there to start on the weekend. So just got to give Coach C and our pitching staff a lot of credit for how hard they've worked and the transitions from the fall to right now, the progress they've made. I just think we're in really good shape right now with our pitching staff. So that's been the biggest thing. And offensively, swung the bats well yesterday, but we hadn't hit too well the first few inter squads, and maybe that's a good thing because we've thrown the ball so well. So it all starts with pitching. Our pitching staff's done a tremendous job as we've come back so far here in January and now in early February, and we're ready to get going.
One of the guys you told us about a week before the season started was Strider, and how you thought he would come out here and compete. Last Saturday, I think he had 10 strikeouts. You've been pleased with what you saw from him the first few weeks. I've
been very pleased with Spencer Strider. Just seeing this young man who has a lot of potential, has a big fastball, can run it up there in the mid-90s with a really good breaking ball, has 3 pitches. But his poise and his composure for a true freshman are really good. He's going to be in the mix. He's actually starting today. He'll start in the 3rd game of this weekend. Weather permitting, could be Sunday or Monday. But he has thrown the ball very well. Jake Higginbotham continues to throw the ball very well. I think he had 8 punch-outs yesterday, got into the 5th inning in his start. Travis Marr has thrown very well. He's been very consistent. He's going to be in the mix for one of those spots. And Hennessy throws today. Jacob's been probably the most consistent. We got Crawford too. So, there's a number of guys. There's a number of guys that could fill those 3 weekend spots. We're just going to try to watch these last 2 inter squads. We got 4 guys starting. And, once we get done with this weekend, we'll make that final decision as to who we're going to go with 1, 2, and 3.
Who are some of the guys? Obviously you had a number of battles. I've seen, several guys playing first base. You've been rotating guys in the infield there. Who are some of the guys that have kind of made a statement the last couple weeks?
Well, we feel like, looking behind the plate, Kyle Wilkie has caught very, very well. We've had Matt Cooper back there some, who we're very high on. Feel like he's an offensive player. He's a freshman. Has played some outfield too. Drew Donathan swung the bat well, hit a home run yesterday. So, behind the plate, we've got some options. Chris Williams probably will not be ready opening weekend to catch. His rehab is still ongoing with his shoulder, but Chris will play first base for us, which gives us an above-average defensive first baseman there as he continues to build his arm strength. And hopefully we'll get Chris behind the dish. It's just a matter of when he's 100%. Jordan Green has played very good baseball here lately. At second base, has swung the bat well. Logan's Logan. At third base, we still got some battles going on, but we've got some options there. We've got Grayson Bird, who played a lot for us, had a great fall. Patrick Cromwell's put together good at bats. Justin Hawkins is a right-handed hitter, so could give us, that potential to put him in there and platoon him. Platoon some of those guys at third, maybe some at second, and in that DH spot. So we got a good problem, between Cromwell, Bird, Hawkins, Green, all those guys have played really, really well. We got to find a way to get them all in the lineup. In the outfield, for me, Bryce Teodosio, arguably is our best defensive outfielder, and feel like He's looked really, really good in center field and has started to swing the bat well. Drew Wharton continues to play well. Robert Jolly continues to play well, hit the ball well. We feel like Seth's going to be in right. We moved Seth back out in the outfield, and it was really more of a kind of a domino effect for us. With Chris Williams not being quite ready, we feel like with Chris being so good defensively at first base and Seth having played the outfield so much, that moving Seth back into the outfield with Chris at first base is probably the right option for us. But as we move forward and as Chris continues to get healthy, we'll look at that first base situation there once Chris gets behind the plate, whether we move Seth back into first or put a Cromwell over there. Cromie's a plus defender at first as well, so we'll have some options. But there's been a lot of competition, a lot of battles going on, and we still have some questions that need to be answered, but we feel pretty good about where we're at defensively. We feel good about our pitching staff, and it's more about trying to figure out who to hit 1 through 9 versus a lefty and versus a righty.
Last question for you. With Chris, is it mainly just throwing the ball behind the plate and get that arm strength up, and then anything update on Kier?
Chris just needs to gain arm strength. Our training staff, Travis Johnson's doing a great job of working with him, and we're just trying to get that arm strength to come back. And then Kier Meredith is still rehabbing. I believe he starts his rehab as far as swinging the bat hopefully by next weekend. The goal was by opening day. That would be around the middle of February that Kier would start swinging the bat. Once he starts swinging the bat, then he'll progress to T-work, front toss, and then BP, hitting off the machines, then hitting live pitching. So it's just a kind of a progression for him. He's been throwing. He'll start being able to run and track some balls here in the next couple of weeks and get his legs back under him, and hopefully we'll have Kier back by mid-March or the beginning of April. But I know he's been chomping at the bit to get back out there too. He's been working hard with his rehab, and he's a dynamic athlete. We really need to get him back at some point this year.
Thanks, Coach.